The Survivor specialists are back, and my computer is totally frozen. I look like a dumbass. What the hell is going on? Brandon, am I moving to you?
Nope.
Nope.
You are fucking frozen. You're
All
like
right, you got to
Nelson.
carry the opening here then, because I got to restart. Man, do I love StreamYard sometimes. It's like, guys, what do I do to deserve this face? I'm looking not very good right now. I need a haircut. I need a shave. And this is what I'm frozen on. All right, Brandon, you're on your own for a second. Hold on.
I'm going to make the same face that you're making.
Thank you. Don't talk the entire time. Oh, Blake just got here too.
Was that close, chat?
There you go. Blake
there he
finally
is.
showed up.
Oh, I got here first. Nice.
No, we're literally live. My face is just frozen.
Phil is coming to you live from the House of Wax.
Yeah,
just
all right.
fucking absolutely frozen.
Hold on.
This is just our first year podcasting, so we're trying to get the kinks out still.
This one doesn't make any sense. There's no reason my face should be stuck, everybody.
We can keep it like that. It's fun.
We're gonna dig deeper into my troubles here with my camera.
I feel like I'm Jeff Dunham. Like you're the ventriloquist dummy. Like you're just making that same face.
Blake and Brandon talk to each other. Let's go. Break it down.
No. We're gonna wait for you, Phil. This is way better for the whole audience.
This is great.
There we are.
Oh, there he is. See, look.
All right. Survivor specialists are back. And today, Blake showing up late, had to go get new glasses so he could look handsome. We got Brandon with
they hurt my eyes
in his
already.
New York apartment. He's ready to rage. He's got good looking glasses on too. I like him. It works. It works. He's got more shoes than anybody I've ever met in my life, but they're there. They're chilling. We're going to dig deeper into episode number 10 of Survivor 47. We did this podcast last season. I forget exactly what episode it was, but Brandon came on and he was just a hot take machine. And I said, all right, I got to bring him back at least one more time because maybe he'll have enough hot takes that people will stop attacking me. You know, let's get Brandon some heat here.
The only time I've been invited back to something Survivor related in the past couple months. Your boy's ready. Your boy's
You're going to be on season 49 probably, right?
I'm working on my campaign now. I want to be on season 50, but in the Applebee's waiter capacity when they do the reward. They don't need to credit me. It's an Easter egg just for the audience. But I want to bring out, they're going to do the reward again. It was the biggest moment of season 46. Like the reward's going to be back. Why not? And it makes sense to have Liz be the person working it. Certainly. But like you watch the scene from season 46, they had 3 waiters. I can do it. Me, Liz, and we'll do an audience vote for the third person. Billy Garcia, Sekou, perhaps. We'll get somebody.
On your name tag, it's got to say Brandon Donlon, though.
Yes, people will be able to tell if it's me, but I would need an alias for sure. I would need something else.
Yeah,
not like name tags on Survivor. You know what we never had on Survivor? A mechanic who's wearing the jumpsuit with their name embroidered in. That's never happened.
Ben was pretty close last season with the overalls. Let's be real.
That is the most mechanic-esque outfit that we've had, I think, is the overalls. Overalls don't look good on everybody. When I met you, Phil, I was wearing overalls, and you can attest to they don't look good on everybody.
Everybody in your cast was wearing overalls. It was quite. I felt like kind of, I get a little, before you go to some of those things, you don't know everybody. You don't know who's going to be there. You say to yourself, am I going to be the weirdo here? And then all of a sudden the entire cast of Survivor showed up in overalls. And I was like, no, I'm good. This is
one thing. An award for overall best cast.
Whoa.
I didn't say it.
All right. See you guys.
He's going back to Vision Works. Season 45, we love a coordinated costume. That's one of our things that we like a lot.
Yeah.
And Ben wore overalls, so we went to Walmart earlier in the day. We took a very expensive Uber. It was in Miami. We had to find a Walmart, which there aren't a lot of in Miami.
There are not.
And we got overalls. Haven't worn them since.
Do Vinrome requests and how they go between people like factor into all-star seasons where you're like, bro, I don't think you ever paid me back for that. So
yeah, like when a bunch of us go out to eat in New York City, instead of Venmoing each other, we just all Venmo Jam, and we just hope that he covers it. Like we don't, it's because we don't have any money. We're all poor. But that's interesting. You would hope that in season 50 they show like how they showed the Poker Alliance in season 40, that they show a quick Venmo transaction glimpse. That's kind of baller. Yes. I think editors, if you're listening, and I know you are, throw it out there.
I feel like the editors are listening. They've made the show better, and I pretty much feel like I'm the reason for that. So if they're listening again, Venmo requests. I like this. I also love that you all spent a lot of money on an Uber to go to a Walmart, bought a bunch of overalls. I can't believe you don't wear them all the time. You should start wearing them to every single Survivor event you go to.
I could make that my thing. I wish I had, like, in Survivor, casting, you want to have like the Boston hat. You want to have the tie-dye tank top, the signature piece of clothing. I wore a pocket tee, I wore a pocket, and really that's the last thing people remember about your boy, as a testament to what was said in the chat minutes before I arrived here.
You want me to throw it up?
Yeah, throw it up, please.
There we go. Neo Kuro. Oh my God, but why this guy? He's like the worst ever. He and Banu. That's us, baby. Season 50. We're gonna have such a fun time when we're out there. I love that. I love the hustle here. You did just move to New York. New York City is an expensive place. Anybody who's watching, Brandon Donlon on Venmo. There it is.
Just in case, if anybody wants to throw me some money, I did just move here, and if you send me a request, I'll read it because my phone's here. I'll get the notification. Wouldn't it be funny if like my background was, this is my girlfriend and I fixing her hair. But if it was, I wish I would have retroactively changed this to Phil. So when I pulled out my phone, it would have just been a picture of Phil in high school or something. But anyway, you guys watch Survivor? You guys ever see that show, season 47?
I'm sorry. I wish I would have sent you some photos. I don't know. Would you have found enough photos to put on the background there? That's what I'm concerned about. You said in high school. I'm like, damn, Brandon, you going through my Facebook? Is that what's happening?
Wait, can I show this? I got a Venmo request from Kelly Nabandian. I don't think it's gonna, but it's for $2,000 and it's me sending it to her. She sent me no money.
Nice.
But she said, "OMG, why this guy?" That seems offensive, Kelly.
Well, what's up, Kelly? I love that Kelly's here.
Oh no,
she wouldn't miss it for the world.
We went for Kelly, but she was busy tonight, so we got Brandon. That's what happened. Sorry, Neo Kuro. That's what actually ended up happening.
I was the alternate. A twist of fate. And this time, I'm the alternate.
What are you thinking, Brandon? Let's actually, 7 minutes in, we've had technical difficulties. Now everybody knows how to get you Venmo, even though Kelly's about to rob you dry, rob you blind. What are you thinking about this season so far?
I'm having a fun time. It's great. I feel like, and I remember hearing Franny say this, I think, maybe a podcast during season 46 is I now feel a little bit less engaged. Like season 46, I was all in still. And now I'm not. Season 46, I'm watching every episode at a bar. I'm watching every episode at some kind of event. I've spent the last 3 or 4 weeks just on my couch watching, like I did, season 44 and before, when I was watching it as a fan. And I'm very much enjoying the fan perspective of it. And I think everybody's super fun. I mean, I love, this is a weird situation for me as I had met Teeny before. I had met Andy before. I had met Asia before. They were all on here. So it's fun to it's like watching it's like a weird dream. It's like watching kids you went to elementary school with play Survivor. I'm just seeing a bunch of people that I knew in a personal level before they went all hang out with each other. But it's great. I mean, I'm having a blast.
You're like, I was on 2 seasons ago, but it feels like my grandkids are playing now.
They are. I'm much older than everybody now. I can barely walk. I could barely walk. Some would say I could barely walk, 2 years ago, or 2 seasons ago. But I'm having a great time. I thought this episode was, we had a lot of strong episodes in season 47. I don't know if this is one of the stronger ones, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed seeing Andy make fucking love to that ball and that challenge. That's awesome. That's more of that.
Did you see the thing going around now that he's actually the Jesus from the Big Lebowski, just reincarnated? That's what it is.
Yeah. I did not see that, but I can see it now. I'll see it when I close my eyes to go to bed tonight. That's very funny. Yeah, I mean, I do think that the editors are making a lot of fun, deliberate choices. I mean, even before I was ever on, it kind of got reignited in the new era, but for a while, maybe season 34, 35, 36, it just felt like we were on autopilot for a little bit where we weren't taking as many, I wouldn't even call them editing risks because they all work for me, but we weren't doing it. We weren't innovating by any means. And now we're in the renaissance of Survivor editing innovation. And I think that's as a fan, you see things you never thought you'd see on the show, or editing choices that you wouldn't see, that I really take to.
let's start off with that, because I feel like if we're going to dig deeper here, this is something that people actually want. I love saying dig deeper because it gets Blake to do that head tilt every time. Every time I say it, it's the only reason I say it anymore.
Yeah.
They chose not to let us in on the information about Teeny being told by Andy last week about this Genevieve coming up with this from scratch. What did you think about the editing choice to wait a week, start off the episode, and kind of kick it off this way? What did you think about that?
I thought it was, I mean, like when you're coming into this week, I think that the question on everybody's mind, the question that I heard on podcasts and on Reddit and whatever is like, Teeny clearly is having a big reaction to seeing Saul, who you've spent the last, 7-8 weeks seeing them and their relationship cultivate. She's having a big reaction to, Saul leaving. So once we get to the beach, I want to see the fallout from Genevieve and Teeny, and also what Teeny's going to now do with that information. So having Andy then tell Teeny in the middle of the tribal council, like what was going on, it adds another level to not only Teeny's perception that somebody is looking out for her. Genevieve wasn't, but Andy was, right? You have that angle, but also you see Andy is doing whatever he has to do to, Andy's web is Andy's web. He's getting everybody that he can on his team. And he could still work with Genevieve, certainly, but now he's got like an in with, you see it in this episode, right? He's talking to Teeny and he's like, we got it. Like, let's run it. So I think it's, I do not have like a strategy brain. I've never claimed to have a strategy brain. I love Survivor, and I've always loved Survivor because of the stories and the relationships and my favorite moment of all time is when Keith like wants to leave the final 6 tribal council in Cambodia because Kimmy's got kids and he's like, I'll just go. Like that's, that's why you watch the show for me. So any kind of like interesting relationship moment that like puts the strategy on pause for a second is why I tune in. And you got that with Teeny talking about how hard it was for her and Genevieve to be, she said it felt like we broke up, which is, a weird thing to contextualize when you're watching. He's like, oh, you've known each other for 15, 16 days, but you're only with that person for 16 days. And you're having the strongest relationship with anybody with that person for 16 days. And it really, you could feel, Teeny's gut punch that she got in that moment. So I, love it.
Yeah. I liked it narratively because it's like, okay, we all talked about Teeny for a whole week of context with the wrong context. And now we're telling the audience basically the same time as Teeny of like this. Andy is telling Teeny, by the way, it was Genevieve. And we don't know that, but we know it at the same exact time Teeny knows it. So now we have about 15 seconds, just like she had 15 seconds to be like, oh, I would be pissed as hell too. And that sets the floor for the episode of Teeny's going to be very pissed off right now. And I think if we had all been waiting for Teeny to be pissed off for a week, it wouldn't have been as like, wow, what a cool moment. We would have just been like, oh, that's what we're expecting. If they had shown it in the previews, it would have been, oh, that's what we're expecting. But boom, here we go. This person who's the happiest go lucky person on the season is like, you know what? It looked like you made me feel stupid on purpose. And I don't like that one bit. And I was like, oh shit. Like, yeah, this is the bark or this is the bite. Not that she was barking ever but like here's the bite.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but to do it in public in front of the whole tribe, right after tribal council, also is the emotional aspect of Teeny's game that I understand. It's not optimal gameplay to maybe do that in front of everybody because you're kind of you're throwing all your cards out on the floor. But that is exactly how I feel like I would play this moment also, which again isn't optimal, but it's I can feel how bad that must have hurt, and I would have had a hard time swallowing it for sure.
And I like to see that kind of fight because I know that, like Brandon said, he wants people who are just going to walk out of a tribal council because somebody has kids. But I do like to see when the players are really pissed off. We had Kelly in here with the what the hell guys. I mean, everybody loved that moment because it was like, okay, this is somebody who wanted to be in this game so bad. And right now, Teeny, also the thing is Teeny's been burned twice by Genevieve. This is the second time that Genevieve has pulled the wool over Teeny's eyes. And now Teeny probably does feel a bit like a fool. I love that line. And Blake, you just brought it up of, you were so close to making me look like an idiot for no reason. I thought that was great because it really is like saying to the rest of the tribe, me and Genevieve were hanging out. I don't know what her problem is. It's her problem, not mine. And I was saying that last week, which was she's going after Saul. She thinks it's a good move for her game. But to me, it was Genevieve looking at everybody as too much of a chess piece and not enough as a real person. And I think that she got a big time wake up call from Teeny's reaction to that. And I think Genevieve actually did, react appropriately in this last episode. But, she's starting to try to get her footing back, but can she ever fully recover? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's never recovering. She's toast.
Here, let me throw this up because anytime we get a super chat, it's always a big deal. Sorry, Brandon. They send it here instead of to your Venmo. I apologize.
Yeah.
Cody Brayman, I think the main question if Genevieve wins is, did the others change their mind or did she talk her way out of the vote? I do believe she has connections and they were not shown. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's a negative of we're not showing people stuff because now whatever we're seeing could completely be wrong. And then the first 10 seconds of the next episode is like, Genevieve was completely fine with Caroline and they talked about the vote completely. And then it'll be like, oh, damn, I feel really stupid talking about it on podcast all week now. But okay.
Yeah, I would have a hard time believing that Genevieve was the actual name if we didn't. Like the consensus, I think, was overwhelmingly for Gabe. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like that's a lot of information to just blatantly not show. And even like a gotcha scene in the next episode like they did here, like I don't think works as well because it's not a one-to-one interaction like Andy and Teeny. It's a whole, hour, 2 hours tribal, pre-tribal council where you're getting that. So I would think that it was mostly Gabe and then Genevieve maybe popped up. Interesting for me that Gabe didn't try to like work with Genevieve, like try to approach Genevieve and say anything, but maybe he did and they just didn't show it. Who knows? That's something that you can like kind of leave out, I would assume.
To me, it felt like the Tukus just had to lose somebody this week. It had to be one of the Tuku 4. They didn't have a choice. It had to be a Tuku. You weren't going to let that even up at 4-4, even if Sue wants to murder Kyle. Like, you're just not going to let that happen. So I felt like a Tuku had to go home this week. So Genevieve's name, as much as people wanted to get rid of her, Gabe had a great line in his exit press today. He said that he believed that Teeny was going to vote for Genevieve, even though he knew it wasn't the best thing for Teeny's game, but he felt that she was playing such an emotional game. Then when she didn't vote for Genevieve, it kind of shocked him. And actually the snake line that was thought to be said to Caroline was actually being said to Teeny. And it was more of like an admiration thing than a negative.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's very interesting.
Well, I guess I got to look at every single podcast to figure out what's actually going on in the episode instead of the we just congratulated the editors, but we are so lost in every 5 seconds on the show. It's so weird. I think what's also funny is, I don't know if you guys said this last night at all, but like, hey, Gabe, how about after you win immunity, you don't publicly do a big old
you do the Ray Lewis dance
and look at me doing the Ray Lewis dance and then wonder why I go home immediately when I don't have immunity the next episode. You're like,
you do the Ray Lewis
bro,
dance.
don't do
Brandon,
that.
Brandon, you do the Ray Lewis dance.
I said this last week at some point, is that I am fine with the Ray Lewis dance. I think the Ray Lewis dance is I don't stand by things Ray Lewis has done. Certainly, neither does anybody here.
Everyone stood by them. Actually,
I don't know what you're talking about. All he's done is gone to the U. What are you talking about? He's done nothing else.
I don't know what he's done or hasn't done. Listen, I'm neutral, but I don't like the meta of asking Jeff for things. I don't like I do like he should do the dance. Like Gabe should just do the dance. You know what I mean? Like if you want to sit in Jeff's chair, Rome, just get up and go walk over. Like just go sit in the chair. Like, can you move? Like the asking to me just feels like it's, and again, no disrespect to like, again, I love the dance, but it feels like you're trying to create a moment as opposed to just the moment's happening because you're in it.
Well, so let me say this.
You didn't say, hey, Jeff, can I get up this ladder for 30 minutes?
Yeah, I said,
you just took forever.
Yeah, I said, this is going to play really well on TikTok in a couple months. And kids from the Netherlands are going to bully me in their home language. You're going to have to translate it in a different tab. So
I love
you
that.
Like, give me a second to get up.
A lot of J's going on if that's happening to you.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying there, but at the same time, isn't this the era of manufactured fake moments? Like, isn't that what we're doing here? Like, this is the rice auction, everybody. Hello. Like, nothing's natural anymore. So maybe you do have to ask, and that's how you make sure you get TV. Also, I want to say this before you jump in, Brandon, because I can tell you're chomping here, but I have to say this. Did you see in the previously on when they showed Gabe do the dance again? Did you watch Jeff's face in the background? Because I didn't notice it the first time.
Yes, I did. Yeah, didn't take to it, which is fine. Listen, I don't know if I mean, I can't dance. I've never seen Ray Lewis do that dance. I feel like Gabe must have done it well.
He did it absolutely perfectly, 100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, but maybe, I don't know, maybe this, I don't know if Jeff watches football. Do we have any grasp? He's from Kansas, right? What's the Kansas team? If you're like, Kansas has no team.
But yes, I know that's in Missouri, everybody. Give me a break. But yes, you'd root for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
or
and like
root for the Broncos.
They haven't been good in years, so he's probably not watching a lot.
Well, that's exactly it. Like you feel like you would have heard him say something about the Chiefs if he was a baseball fan. Maybe he doesn't know who Ray Lewis is. Maybe I didn't know who Ray Lewis was until he was on the CBS reality television series Beyond the Edge with Full House's.
That's why
Jody
Gabe's
Sweetin.
doing the dance.
Wait, you didn't know who? We're going to take a little time on this. You didn't know who Ray Lewis was?
I have no fucking clue who I don't know who Ray Lewis is. He was on Dancing with the Stars. No, before that. So I guess I saw him there. But I would have if Ray Lewis was in an elevator with me, I wouldn't know who he was.
Who's winning Dancing with the Stars this year?
Joey.
Interesting.
Joey.
Okay.
I've had a lot of weird feelings in my stomach for Joey that I've had to, think about a lot. They're just the guy can dance. The guy can dance very well.
Is that still your girlfriend on the phone there, Brandon? Is that what we're still? Yeah.
No, it is now Joey.
Joey fixing your hair? Is that what's happening?
Yeah,
I've never seen this Joey guy. I don't know if he has.
Oh, Joey, you got to watch Joey. Everybody's homework is to go watch Joey. This on the YouTube chat.
On the YouTube chat. Your homework is to just go watch Ray Lewis. So Ray Lewis, Hall of Fame middle linebacker. I mean, he did that dance every single time when he walked out on the field for a home game. So you got to go check it out.
He's doing it without getting a touchdown, or he's
it was like his intro thing. Like when he would come out, he'd do it. The fireworks would go off. Yeah.
Okay. I like I saw Steph Curry. He does the night thing. That's kind of lit.
This thing
we like that.
Sleepy.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't have a dance. What would your dance be? What's your dance if you had to pick a dance?
I don't have a dance.
You don't have a touchdown?
Okay, yeah. Blake's got too many dances.
Blake
blew his knee out dancing once. So,
Is that right? What happened?
Catastrophic event at a Christmas party, lunging towards a group of women. My knee goes sideways, but I've been the fat guy dancing in the corner for multiple generations of people that know me.
Sure. And did they take to that? Did they think it was honorable that you?
Everybody loves it. I was Blake Onse in junior high. I did not know I was gay till 15 years later, which is kind of weird. But
I'm sure the audience maybe, but running up the flagpole with Blake.
Oh, they definitely said it when I was 13, but I didn't. It's like, hey, that's kind of mean.
Yeah,
Blake Onse.
Also, Blake knew who Ray Lewis was, so it was like Blake Onse, but also had seen Ray Lewis do that dance. So I'm just saying, Ray, come on,
listen. Man. I'll watch the highlight tape when we get off here. I got a TV over. I'll put it on the TV.
Do you? Okay. Is it hidden by the shoot? What's the album there? Is that Belle and Sebastian?
I know who Ray Lewis is more than I know who Belle and Sebastian are. That is my girlfriend's. It is the soundtrack to My Neighbor Totoro, the Ghibli film. A thing I've also never seen. Most of the media that I consume, somebody gets voted off or eliminated at the end of it. I haven't seen many things that aren't that.
I got to try to find. I mean, that's fair. Totoro. I don't like Totoro. Don't tell your girlfriend. But I don't like Totoro.
You a Spirited Away guy? What's your jam?
I like Princess Mononoke. I got Porco Rosso over there too. I got a Porco Rosso one over there. Here.
Oh, is that from the museum of?
Yeah, I got that with Blake. There's Porco Rosso.
Where's the museum?
They have the Academy Museum in LA.
It's in LA, but one time it was when it first opened. It was go watch all his movies there.
Oh, that's fun.
That's
next to your eye doctor. That's where your eye doctor is.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's lit.
Okay, speaking of manufactured moments, do you think Teeny was like, I got burned, so I'm gonna put my bag closer to the fire and make a moment so I can get a major confessional?
That bag is like, I mean, granted, I say everything with the caveat of I was only there for a couple of days, but you're sleeping on that bag. You're using that bag. Like you wouldn't want a big hole in it. You got to use that. So it would be, it's hard for me to contextualize just burning it for the lulz. I do imagine once you burn it, it's going to get on TV, but you're not burning it for funsies.
No. Also though, tied in insanely well to her story there. I mean, that was pretty incredible of like this huge, coming to terms with who you are as a person moment. And then it's like, and my bag got absolutely decimated. So like I'm at my low already. I'm trying to determine like what I want the future of me to be. And now here's all of my personal items just destroyed.
Now I don't have a bag. Yeah, I think that, one thing the new era was kind of going hard in the paint with at the beginning was the backstories. We were really shoehorning in backstories. And I feel like we've now landed at the tasteful backstory. Not the context of the story was tasteful, but the not having one every episode or two every episode. You're not expecting it anymore. Whereas like season 41, I feel like they were like 4 or 5 in the first episode. Maybe that's me misremembering, but I dig that. And I think it came across super well. And I like it at a place of vulnerability is nice as opposed to just I think in the season 41 opening episode, like you're seeing people just give it during their first ever confessional, which is like great, but also I want you to feel why you're feeling this backstory,
Right.
Like I think
like you're not going to open up to us until you do this like your 7th time.
Yes, yeah. I think Jake and Dee both had backstories in episode 5 of season 45, which is like we didn't do them for the first 4, and then we get there. So I like that a lot.
I feel like that's better too, because at that point, like we need to get to know Brandon. Like, honestly, I don't care what you were doing before you went on the show. When I sit down to watch Survivor, I want to see how is Brandon going to win Survivor? What is he going to be like for me on Survivor? Australian Survivor overdoes this. I'm doing the episodes for the Patreon, and like, they'll just keep showing you the same clip of the person at home with their family, or the one girl, Sharn, like in her barrister. And I'm like, how many times do I have to see Sharn? I get it. She's a barrister. Like I understand. And they just keep showing it. And I'm like, but what do I know about Sharn on the island? I knew her name was really close to Shane. That was essentially all I knew about Sharn. So I feel like they have done a better job. And just to let you know that you're not crazy, Brandon.
Yeah.
We set the over under for how many backstories we would see at 9.5.
Oh.
And it's not even close this season, but it's hit the over in 5 of the 6 seasons of the new era.
Really? It's more than 9?
Yeah.
That's
in the first 3 seasons, that's all they showed.
It's that's very much so.
Is this the real one?
There she is. Look at that headshot.
Whoa.
There she is. I bring an entourage when I show up places.
Oh wow, look at that New York City apartment.
Yeah. Here it is.
There it is. Does the bed come out of the cabinet there?
The bed is actually in this humidifier. You have to kind of hit it really hard, and then it shoots out like one of those, ambulance things.
I love that. That. And Emily says, I sent this headshot to CBS for my application.
I'm going to get that. I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to frame it over there. That'd be a great centerpiece when people walk in the home. That's so fun.
I love that. Well, hello, Emily. Good to see you too. Look, you do bring an entourage. We got Emily. We got Kelly. This is great. I
got everybody.
I
got it. Listen, we all showed up to Miami in matching. They're in matching costumes now, Emily. You just can't.
They're all wearing the same hoodie that you have on right now.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
It does look comfortable.
Yeah. It is the best hoodie. If you need a new hoodie, A&F, you got to get the. It's a little expensive, but Venmo Jam, he'll pay for. Just tell him you need something.
I'm gonna need it. It's supposed to be a high of 70 here in Florida tomorrow, so I really, really do need that hoodie quickly.
Is your house cold? What do you keep your house at? What's the temp in the house?
Dude, I don't even want to talk about it. As a New Jersey person whose parents used to keep it at 66,
yeah,
I don't even want to talk about the fact that right now my house is 75 degrees and it's a little chilly.
75 is that's a nice summer day. But yeah, I like Arctic. I want to feel the cold.
Oh yeah. No, my dad, when we used to watch football games, even whatever, he'd put the temperature down to like 68 degrees and put the fans on. Be like, you got to feel like you're there. That was his
And then he got up and did the Ray Lewis thing.
Pretty much. But
not
then my
the Ray Lewis thing. He did the Ray Lewis
thing.
Yeah,
exactly. No, I'm still here. Don't worry. So anyway, let's talk about the shot in the dark stuff, because I know Blake.
Let's get some Rice negotiations.
Yeah, back into
probably my favorite thing that happens these days on the new era is like, let's get more Jeff time. Let's see what Jeff's been thinking about. And he's like, hey, remember when we said we weren't going to give you Rice at the beginning of the season because we want this to be harder than the 39-day season? Now it's time for you to earn your Rice arbitrarily. And everyone goes, yeah. And I thought it was very funny that everyone was like, I'm literally going to explain to the editors, which probably already know this, all the people at home, which probably already know this, but definitely for Jeff, here's why shot in the dark really doesn't matter except like twice ever, and that's barely ever, and why we should probably get rid of shot in the dark forever. And then it was like, oh, that's a really good point, right, Sam? And all of that centered around Sam and Gabe, but it was like pretty much everyone was like, yeah, I don't really care about this opportunity, when Jeff is like, this is your last breath moment. How could you not care about this fake idol that only works like 1 out of 6 times and you don't have a vote if you use it? And it's like, well, most people haven't really cared about this. Like, how many shots in the dark have been played versus how many are out there?
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably not even a third of them have ever been played. Probably not even a fourth.
Yeah, it's like Bob Crowley said this in Gabon with the idol. Is like, you don't have to. It's like when you rob a convenience store. Like, you just have to. They have to think you have a gun. You don't have to use the gun, but they just have to. And that's where it feels weird to me to hand over this thing that inherently makes votes more interesting. Like, I think like the need to have to work around a blind side. I find that to be super interesting. And now in these pivotal 9, 8, 7, I think it stops working at 6. But these 4 rounds wherein people are going to be naturally blindsided because it's Survivor. Like, why would you want to get rid of the thing that will make that more interesting? I think that I am a shot in the dark truther. I think it's fun. I think it adds a layer of fun and having to work around just a run of the mill blindside than you normally would have.
I don't mind shot in the dark because most people don't play it. And when you do get somebody who play it, it's like Zach Wertenberger who knew he was going home. It's Caleb who knew he was going home. Like, every now and then you'll get a random person, but even Rachel kind of came up with a strategy with the shot in the dark, which was pretty cool. So I like that. What I think I'm most surprised at is that Jeff took them all, because that's Jeff kind of admitting like, okay, these weren't going to, like, is Jeff thinking that them all getting 1 bag of rice is better TV than the potential of 8 shot in the darks being played in the next 2 weeks? Because they're only good till final 7.
Oh, is it 7? I do think that he goes for moments more than, like, I think back to like during season 35 when Ben is like, can you validate this is real? And then Jeff does it before the votes, which is like, I don't think ever happened before that. Like, it's just not a rule, but it's because like Ben's, throwing out a new thing. I think that the shot in the darks, Jeff hears that. He's like, oh, that's interesting. Sure. And then maybe, I don't know if there's buyer's remorse. Like an hour later, he's like, oh, well, that's, a bummer. Cause again, I like the shot. I like what it adds to the show. But I don't know if that was thought out in the moment I think Jeff just hears a new fun thing. Like, I wonder if they just pitched like, hey, let's not do the challenge. Nobody gets immunity tonight. Let's do let's get some, like, I don't think that's enough, but, and then they still want to have the challenge for the TV show. But I think if you pitch something out of the box, it has a much better chance of working than, like, I feel like, I think Caroline said, like, what if 2 people give the shot in the dark? Like, what are the stakes there? Like, who, how do we decide that? But I think if you, something super wild and out of the box, then Jeff can reference it as like, oh, this thing that will maybe help you is more important than, you want rice, whatever.
Yeah. And Emily here has taken over, Brandon. I mean, just,
whoa,
Brandon,
she's a better guest.
Emily, pass it over to her.
The people are clamoring for the shot in the dark. Forced me to tell Kendra about Brandon's. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. So it does impact the way people play. And you're right. Because Brandon, I tweeted it last night. I was like, what makes me the most mad about the negotiation is how excited Jeff is going to be going into the press tomorrow, being like, Survivor history, first time ever. This was awesome. And look, like, I'm one of the people who thinks Jeff does a very good job. I know there's a lot of people who have jumped off of that train. There we go. I'm pointing down, but
don't point at me. I got to go.
No, I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing down. I think Jeff does a very good job most of the time. There are things that I definitely will critique Jeff about, but I'm not going to sit here and like be like, oh my God, Jeff, you're the best at everything, because honestly, like, there are problems with Survivor. But this was one moment where it's like, what was the benefit to the show? Because for us as viewers, that moment doesn't hit, in my opinion. Them all giving up their shots in the dark for a bag of rice. I can't eat the rice. I'm not hungry. I had a great meal last night. Like, I'm good.
You can't eat the rice? Are you kidding me?
And then the shot in the dark, we so rarely actually see them played in a meaningful way that I don't feel like that much was given up. So I feel like that moment fell flat. And I don't know. I actually haven't read too much of like Jeff's press today. I don't know if Jeff's been super high on that moment or not, but to me, it didn't really work.
What is the appropriate or maybe not appropriate, but what's the most fun thing that could be offered by the players in that moment to make it fun and a good TV moment for you? Not just I thought this was fine. I'm Switzerland on this particular moment. But what would have had to happen where you come on this podcast and you're like, that was exceptionally fun? Or is the rice negotiation just broken and that doesn't happen?
I think that's more of it, because my thing is at this point, like when Drew Christie comes in and we're going to give up all this stuff for food or whatever the hell he's doing, and Sam Wandel, so you're like, oh shit, we've never seen this before. This is awesome.
Sure.
In Australia, when they lose the rice because of a flood and it's like, we might actually die. It's like, great, we're going to steal all your stuff, but we'll still give you some food. We've seen better versions. Angelina's moment will never be topped, but it feels like it constantly wants to be topped. Coming into this too, it also didn't feel like a negotiation, right? Jeff is saying, I'm going to give you 1 bag of rice and 4 people need to sit out. People sitting out for immunity at this point doesn't really do anything for me, because the people who fell out of that challenge first were pretty much who I expected to fall out of that challenge first. Like the people who went out probably would have been the people who sat out, and people sitting out of challenges. All that does is give me fewer people to watch in an endurance challenge. And as a Survivor fan who likes watching people eliminated one by one, I like watching an endurance challenge with as many people as possible so I can watch them get eliminated one by one. So I don't know what that is. I really don't think there is an answer to this, because Shot in the Dark doesn't do it. If they're losing votes, I'm throwing my remote through the TV. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I think this is something that we've been talking about on some of the other maybe Patreon stuff. So I'm going to just introduce this as a topic of like Grandpa Jeff. Jeff is getting older, and now it's kind of like a 60-something-year-old person is in charge of your favorite TV program. And what do 60-year-old people like about TV programs? And would you love it if a 6-year-old was in charge of your favorite sitcom? Well, they probably are. What about your favorite like Lord of the Rings thing? You're like, okay, well, I would rather have Rafe do the Wheel of Time than a 68-year-old Rafe or whatever.
You're going to get in trouble for saying that. Sorry to interrupt your train of thought, but people were not happy with what Rafe did with Wheel of Time.
Oh, so. I'm just
is that right?
saying a Survivor name that I know, but like. I'm wondering if, because you're about to go on 50 as an alternate and could get in the cast, like when you are seeing Jeff obviously fishing for a moment, do you think it behooves the player to go like, okay, I'm ready to turn on and be like, man, rice negotiations, I can't believe I'm on this beach and finally in this moment. I've seen it on TV so many times, and I had the perfect idea that I've cooked up at home. I still remember it 3 weeks later. What we're going to do is I'm going to give you my left shoe and I'll go left shoeless the rest of the time, Jeff. And Jeff's like, this is the greatest moment ever. They're going to be without a shoe the whole time. That's going to come up in every challenge. I love it. Blake, yes. And then Blake's the guy without the left shoe, because we've already had somebody be naked. We've already had somebody like, I'm going to eat your bones and spit them out. What's left? We haven't had a shoeless Joe Jackson yet. Let's have it be,
Sure.
Let's have it be Blake. And now he's coming back for every All-Star season, because remember, he took his shoe off for everyone to have rice. And I'm just wondering if that goes in through your head at all.
I think that again, 5 days, but you can feel from my recollection, like when a moment could have, like, you know, I'm not just saying this because Emily's here, but like we're more on the barge and Emily is like going back and forth with Jeff. Like I look at Caleb and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like oh my God, like that's a moment. Like you can feel that that's a moment, and that's not a moment manufactured by the show. That's a moment manufactured by the casting team who sees Emily in a video for 15 seconds and is like, oh, that's the best person that we could find right now. Like undoubtedly so. I think in this moment, you know that Jeff is wanting to have a moment, because the rice negotiation has been a staple of now the new era. Like, I do think that I don't know if it behooves everybody to go along with it and make a moment, but you should do as much as you can to make a good moment, because a moment's happening. Like, you're not going to escape this rice negotiation unless everybody's like, we don't need rice. Like, then you're hungry. Like you should get the rice, but like do something interesting to get the rice, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. And what's interesting about this is I almost wonder if Jeff was more willing with the shots in the dark because he saw how they were not on board with negotiating to sit out of the challenge. Nobody was going for that. Everybody said, I mean, they were all talking about, we're not going to get 4. It's not even a conversation. So what else can we do? And Jeff wanted something here. He needed something. Otherwise, they probably would have just cut this whole part out. But 9 shots in the dark feels like a lot for Jeff. But as somebody who's been watching since season 1, it just doesn't feel like a lot to me because I've seen so many people play without shots in the dark that this isn't some, losing their votes would have been more impactful. But I'm so tired of watching people lose their votes. I don't like that part of the show. So I just think the rights negotiation, it's something that might work for the players and it might work for Jeff. I don't think most of the audience feels good about the rights negotiation at this point. I think they're over it.
I wish that there was a way to get like interpersonal conflict out of it. Like you can sit out of the challenge and get rice, but it's only rice that's this big and it's for you. And you can choose to split it. Like you can do whatever you want with it, but it's this much rice. So maybe
there's a rice foreman.
What is a foreman? What is it?
That person gets to choose for everybody. Like you guys nominate somebody who you think is the most trustworthy, and Genevieve gets to pick which 3 of you guys sit out of the immunity for as much rice or whatever, and then it's all like a car challenge or something. I did that in 7 seconds. Survivor producers, let's go.
Hire Blake. Blake's, you guys, he doesn't need vision insurance. He's already got it. He was already at the eye doctor. I think that's an idea. Yeah, I think I think it's fine, but I think that, and I'm okay with fine. I'm okay with anything that doesn't make me not like the show, and that hasn't happened yet. Other than the stuff that we all know is not good about it. The controversial,
the gross stuff.
I haven't seen it. I think that losing votes is like silly. Like I think that you can let the players play and you pick them because they're good and they can generate something good without having the mechanic of losing a vote. And I think that if you want to lose a vote, I think that's fine, but do it in ways that are more unexpected than they're just like, you'll lose a vote. Whatever. I lost my train of thought, but hire Blake.
Hire Blake. Hey, that's a good way. If you can't find your train of thought, just at least give Blake his props, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
Did you see what Emily wrote real quick too? Whenever you were talking about somebody watched Emily for 15 seconds and then put her on the show. I love her response to this. And like, maybe that is a funny way to think about it, of like being cast on Survivor is not good. It's somebody choosing you to have the worst 26 days of your life, set your life back for years, have every single person that sees you for the rest of your life reference the 3 weeks that you were on a show, and just immediately
put you for some of us
forever.
Let's not exaggerate here, Brandon.
What I would have killed for another week. Would have loved another week.
Like you're out there for a work week. I
was out there for I've had COVID for longer than I was there. Like at one time. Like I've been COVID positive.
Oh my goodness.
But I think that I'm all in on interpersonal conflict, like lightning in a bottle with the Applebee's situation, where you have a reward that they've done 100 times in Survivor, where you get just a group of people that will make something magical out of something that has been done. And that's the hope for any of these things. It's like letting the players play. You do that same reward challenge where you pick 2 people 100 times, you get a group that makes magic. And I would rely on that. I would rely on that more than I would having to make something happen.
Yeah.
Somebody had a good thing in the chat. Kevin said, what if Survivor gives the players, I can't read that, but I think it makes sense.
He says, what if Survivor gives the players rice if 5 out of the 8 players are still in the challenge after 10 minutes? So almost like rewards the players for lasting longer in the challenge.
Oh, interesting. I like that, Kevin. I want you to know that was not written unclearly. I am very bad at reading out loud. That is a weakness that I have. When I went on the journey and I had to read the tablet with the rules, it took me longer than it did to do anything. Unbelievably so. That was the slowest I did anything. Because I'm very bad.
What are you good at, Brandon?
I'm funny. this chat's lit right now. This chat's having a fucking great time.
That's going to get you further in life, right? You don't need to be good at puzzles. Just be funny.
All the way to New York.
I know.
Look at it. It's like a fucking apartment. It's great.
When's the first stand-up show? Is it soon or no?
You know what? Ryan Irwin, who I don't think listens to this, but he's a Survivor fan. He got me a book. He is a stand-up comedian. He got me a book of how to start doing stand-up. So I would like to. Maybe one day. Who knows? But I want to read the book for sure. Got to see if it's for me. Who knows if it's for me or not.
I like that. We're like getting the early stages of the next Seinfeld here. You're gonna get your own sitcom, everything. About living in New York.
I'm gonna do the bass riff. It's gonna be so good. I'm Seinfeld, but I'm in Queens, so technically I'm Doug Heffernan. I'm the king of Queens.
Oh, there you go. The fact that you knew the king of Queens name of the character. Like you didn't just say Kevin James. You actually knew the name of the character, but you don't know who Ray Lewis is. I'm bothered by this podcast. Right?
It's not a show where people get voted off either.
No, but I do. Jerry Stiller is dead. I don't think that counts as getting voted off, but he has been voted off the earth.
Great vote off in the sky.
That's a great show. I dig a sitcom also. I'm watching Lost right now. You guys watch Lost? You guys Lost?
First two seasons I did, and then it was
Lost is top 5 show of all time. Love it.
Yeah, I watched it when it was on. I remember none of it. But Devin and I are halfway through season 2 right now, and we're enjoying it. It's crazy.
Season 2 is my least favorite season, but love that show.
Leftovers is next. I've never seen The Leftovers. Justin Theroux's in The Leftovers. Is that right?
Yeah,
I like
Leftovers is my favorite. That's my favorite show, hands down.
Is that right?
So good.
Yeah,
it's the same dude. That's why I'm saying about Lost. Yeah,
is J.J. Abrams?
Damon Lindelof.
Oh, he watches Survivor. He did an interview with John Lovett. He said he watches Survivor,
and that's why Lost came to be. I mean, there's so much.
Wait, Damon Lindelof for season 50?
David Lindelof for season 50. Damien, I don't know his name. I stuttered through that whole thing, but I hope he's on season 50.
I can't talk anywhere. Supposedly, am I making this up? Isn't there somebody who's like very famous who's going through casting right now? Am I making this up?
Yes, I did see that. I think that's super cool. Yeah. I hope it's
somebody about it. I don't know who
people were saying MPH. I don't think that's the truth, but people were saying MPH.
I really like Sabrina. She's not busy. She can, she can take a couple weeks off.
Sheesh.
I was hoping for Dominic Monaghan, who's a huge Survivor fan of Lost fame.
He did the podcast with Jeff, and he did the podcast with Jeff because he was on Lord of the Rings, on Lord of the Rings. He's on Lost in Lord of the Rings. Is that how that works?
On Long Island. They tell you that it's not in Long Island. It's on Long Island.
Dude, I stand online, or no, I stand in line my whole life. People stand online or in line. What do they do?
You and I, Phil, we stand in line. Like we're from in line, but here you stand online. Like I've heard that spoken here.
What do you say, Blake?
I'm always standing in line. I've never heard online in my life.
When you were at VisionWorks and you were 2 people in front of the person, what were you doing?
I was in line. Yes.
Matt, there's Matt in the chat says Brandon lives so close to me. Send your address, Matt. What's your address? Send your address.
Prove it.
We do not condone that.
Yeah. What's your train stop, Matt? What's your train line? Tell me that. Maybe I'll tell you mine. I'm hijacking. This is the Brandon Donlon podcast.
No, this is great. I mean, people are going to get their Long Island, their LIRR history here, right?
Yeah, LIRR.
Now, what do they actually call it? They don't call it. Do they call it the LIRR? They do. Whatever.
They're Long Island Railroad. I'm a fan.
We
keep our house at 66. Oh yeah, Kimberly's behind, but I'm fucking thrilled about that.
That was 42 minutes ago, but here we are.
Yeah. Oh, you're Nassau County. Okay, I love your mall. I've been to your mall.
Wait, how far are you from the Rockville Center station? Are you close to that one?
Actually, Devin and I went there today. We took the train. I had to take the M. Shout out to the M train. It's 20 minutes.
Yeah,
if you're ever there.
That's the part of Long Island I spent the most time at. One of my groomsmen grew up there. So
wait, Rockefeller Center, like where they filmed?
No, Rockville Center.
I don't know where the fuck that is.
Rockville Center is in Nassau County, not Nassau County. Whatever.
Oh, Mad Forest, you got to go to Rockville Center. No, Rockefeller Center. I'm familiar with.
When you started saying that, like we took the M, I'm like, why the hell did you take the M to go further into Long Island?
Yeah. Have we lost everybody? What's the view count on this?
We're down to 4, and I think it's just the 3 of us, so that's good. We're killing it. Yeah, the
how
3
does
of us
Saul come back and win this season?
Hold on, and Kimberly Burquette is still 46 minutes.
We gotta get. Kimberly just heard my bad Ray Lewis joke. Yeah, I think that Saul looked great in that vest. You got any takes on that? Guy looked fucking fantastic in the vest.
I was like, holy shit, Mortal Kombat 2 looks amazing.
You did it.
The one tweet that the person had, I forget who it is. I never can give credit to the right people, but they said, "I'm no longer mad." They sent Saul to the jury.
I like that. That was very funny.
My favorite tweet was Teeny's though, when she was like, the guy from Barstool who talks about Survivor is definitely like, what do I say about this?
Yeah,
it was so good. Of like, yeah, I was watching him during the whole World Series because he was huge Yankees guy, and he's having a rough month.
Oh yeah, he's a Yankee. Yeah, he did not take to your boy for my 2 episodes. Tommy Smokes.
I'm shocked. I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
I can't imagine.
He was
why.
ready to throw. He was burying Andy alive on the start of this season, so I can't even imagine what he did to poor Brandon. You
Yeah.
never got to redeem yourself.
I think he said he made a video talking about me, Hannah, and Emily, and I think he said like he was being mean about me for 30 seconds. He was like, he's funny, but and then kept being mean for. I was like, okay, I'll take it. Put it on the board. Give me a job at. I don't want to work for Barstool, but give me in with a different company. You guys know each other. Tommy
hire Brandon.
Hire Brandon. I'm gainfully employed. If you're watching, my employer is watching. I am employed. I have to say that.
Still send Venmo money because I'm not that employed.
Yeah, if you could, sure, certainly. Yeah.
Pizza in New York is the only cheap thing. Everything else is mad expensive. So
$1.50.
$1.50.
I got teriyaki chicken yesterday, $18. Like takeout.
That's LA, man. That's LA prices. LA,
I had
New
a
York.
$33 sandwich, cookies, chips, and Snapple earlier.
$33?
Yeah.
Where are you, Jersey Mike's? What are you doing?
No, it was chips and sandwiches, and I was like, "Oh, what's this place?" And it was a brie sandwich. It's pretty good.
I feel like we know what that place is, right? put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it was just close by. I was like, I only have 30 minutes, and then it seemed like I only had 10 minutes. I just didn't realize it.
So you have 2 hours and 40 minutes to go get a pair of glasses, but you only have 30 minutes for lunch. That's good to know. Okay.
I wonder what chips and sandwiches is all about. I'm gonna go and check it out. Run that up the flagpole.
Oh man. All right. Let's try to go back on track at least till the end here.
Perfect.
Right until the end. Brandon, I want to talk to you about this. Winner perspective here. Teeny had a good episode. Genevieve, her stands still want to kill me. I showed you the one tweet. Hey, look, D-Lock, I love you. I'll take the hate. I don't care.
Shout out D-Lock.
Just keep bringing it. I'm not going to answer your tweet when you tell me to man the fuck up. But I'm hanging out. I'm here. I'm ready. I can hang. I can chill. I can be hip. Who's winning this thing, Brandon? And who is not winning it? Who do you give no chance to? Who do you give a lot of chance to? How do you see this playing out?
I mean, I don't know if I'm qualified to make the no, this person has no shot. I feel like, it's crazy. Like, I think I saw a comment that said this on Reddit, but like everybody's giving losing finalists somehow, like all 9 people are all getting 0 votes. But I said it on Tyson's podcast, week 2, I have remained steadfast in my Caroline. I am driving the Caroline bus as the winner. Really? And my theory for the first couple of episodes, which I did Tyson's podcast week 2, and I said this, and then it kept being true, is that Andy in the first episode is like too much. You see Rome, the first act of season 47 is Rome's too much. You see TK get voted out because TK is like, abrasive to his tribe, what have you. They thought he was abrasive, whatever. But like Caroline just seems like so normal. You know what I mean? Like just so like, and I feel like it's not about the loudest person. It's not about the person who's the most emotional. It's just about the person who's like in a season full of people who are above the line. It's like being on the line. And I think that Caroline does that exceptionally well. And I think that, she's that for every Tuku scene, I felt like you would see 2 people talking and then Caroline's just in the back. Like Caroline's there. She's just like a couple feet away or she's in the conversation. So I think that Caroline is my final answer.
Do you like?
And I think everybody else gets 0 votes.
Do you like confessional count talk? Because some people do. Will hates it, but I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah, please. I didn't look last night, but please.
Here you go. So here's Caroline for the whole season because she has the fewest of anybody remaining in the game. But I just need to read this out because, like you said, Brandon, very normal. She's always around. She's always in the background. What's going on with her? Here's her whole season, and I'm going to read these in order for episodes. So I don't have to say episode 1, episode 2. 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3.
No zeros.
No zeros.
That's Blake's cell number. Don't read that out.
Sorry, I know. That was actually that other guy's address.
But Matt Forrest, we're coming
Matt
over.
Forrest. But what's crazy with this is Kyle's had a 0 confessional episode. Sue's had a 0 confessional episode. Genevieve's had a 0 confessional episode. Andy, Rachel, Sam, they all got a lot of content early on because so much of the story revolved around them. Teeny's been getting a lot of confessionals, despite the fact that Teeny is just like, she's the duck kicking her legs as fast as she can, and she's not going anywhere. But Caroline, for some reason, getting all like, why does Caroline, out of the 3 Tukus left, Caroline, Kyle, Sue, Caroline's the one who's had a confessional in every episode that they've gone out of their way to show. It's confusing to me.
Winner, baby. Yeah.
Why
the
wouldn't?
other,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You go for it.
Brandon
I'm
first.
I saw a Reddit thread the other day about I'm not on Reddit I just chat. I'm not on Reddit this much. But I did see a Reddit thread about that, a lot of the focus of the season and now the post merch has been the gotta dynamics between each person. You get your Andy and Rachel, and now you got your Andy and Sam, and then you kind of have your Rachel and Sam a little bit. And the theory of the gotta final three, I think, is something. I think if it's not Caroline, that makes sense to me. And the story is them three together and how they make it there. But Caroline, I mean, I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Erica had episodes with 0 confessions.
She had a lot.
She
She's the
had a
last
lot with
winner
0.
to have episodes with 0. She's the last one. They haven't had one. Since.
And maybe they're correcting that and they're just doing it like they're slightly it's just as much as they can correct it without it being super, super obvious. But I mean, this has been long said about women who win the show. Like I remember Michelle Fitzgerald is like, we're going to Michelle when we don't necessarily need to, but we just want the viewer to know that Michelle is there. And Michelle's obviously making moves the entire time, but it felt even in episodes where they weren't going to tribal council, you got to hear Michelle's perspective. So I think that, I'm aboard the Caroline train for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it for sure. And I don't know. I like the Gotta thing, and we didn't talk about it on this episode. I didn't talk about it last night. I didn't talk about it on the Patreon podcast I did. But that scene with Rachel and Sam, Brandon, you just brought it up with the dynamics. That scene with the two of them where she was like, you immediately went and blew up my spot. I don't like that. And then Sam kind of talks her down and she talks to him. And Rachel's coming out of conversation saying, you know what, I really can work with Sam. That was a huge scene and a huge moment. And then last week we have a flashback to Rachel and Andy on day one, night one, all of that. You might be right. We might be getting a Gotta final three and the yellow curse may be officially over.
They would end it. They would put it, they would. We've been waiting for somebody to end it. And it would be them. Shout out to them.
Blake, what were you going to say there? What else you have?
I just thought it was interesting that like Genevieve, Caroline, and Rachel are all very strong presence on their tribe. And it's like, if they just work together and weren't obstacles for each other, it'd be like there's Black Widow Brigade number 2 right there of like the strong, what is it called? Strategic women all just eliminate everyone, be 6. I know all of them have been like, I got to worry about Rachel. I got to worry about Genevieve. I want to vote. I know there's 4 Tukus, but I'd love to get Genevieve out. And I think that's an interesting thing that happened to Rachel this episode was she didn't say anything about Gabe. She was saying, get Genevieve, get Genevieve, get Genevieve. And there was no egg on her face. It was just like, okay, Genevieve probably goes next time now. Mm-hmm. Or is this a whole edit thing of like, everyone does realize, hey, the Lavos and the Gata and Lavos are we have more fun together. Let's just knock out all 4 of the blue people back to back. Like maybe that's what happens, and we just the show behooves them. I like behooves to not really have a pagonging in people's minds and try to muddy that as much as possible with, well, now we have to get rid of Kyle because he's about to win a 5th immunity and break a record. Like you can't take him to 8 to 7 to 6, and then it'll be like, well, who's left? Like just Caroline and Sue. That's the other thing that I thought you brought up, Phil, last night on Twitter was like, Sue's best friend is Gabe. Let's use this idol. And like, now we are 4 of the final 8. And we didn't even hear Sue mention her idol or mention that possibility of Gabe saying, I could be going tonight, Sue. Cause he doesn't even know about her idol probably. Right.
Right. I don't think so.
I
think nobody does.
Caroline's the only one because she called Sue, but that's it. Do you think with Gabe there that if Sue plays the idol, was that kind of her last chance to be able to play this idol successfully? Do you think Sue's ever going to be able to get to play it right now?
Probably not. I mean, I guess I wouldn't hate to see all the Tuku people go boom, boom, boom. Because I do think Caroline famously wins, but I don't know. I mean, there's no reason that she couldn't use it later, right? Why wouldn't she be able to use it later?
She can use it later. I'm just more saying, do you think that they ever put the votes on Sue where she gets to successfully play it, or is she walking into a Troyzan situation of, I just have the idol the entire time. What am I really going to do?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like last night, she could have used that to save an ally, make a big statement for the jury, and get the numbers onto her side. Now, I don't know what she can do.
Oh, I can see a scenario where she is viewed as like, next week Kyle wins immunity. And for whatever reason, Genevieve's worked her way back into numbers. Like Sue is the natural. So it's just like a non sequitur Sue boot. And maybe she uses it then. Maybe she uses it successfully. It is weird though that we haven't heard anything about it, which makes me think that it's not used ultimately. Yeah. Like I feel like when other people have idols, you're getting but I have an idol. Like you're getting those confessionals happen. And I haven't heard that.
And I do feel like we know about Rachel's more than we know about Sue's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you going to start calling her Suzanne?
Suzanne? Why that?
Like Troyzanne?
Oh, I get it. Damn, dude.
She calls herself the tsunami, but her face has not touched water
in years.
Yeah.
Is she contouring with dirt to make herself look younger? That's what everybody's
saying. I don't know what contouring is, but I am now.
She looked like Jay Leno last night, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, about that. Let's pivot really quick.
He fell down a hill.
No,
he took the substance, bro, and Colin Jones.
He was at a Hampton Inn and he banged his head.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Like it's not even a little bit true. He's in trouble. We need to help him.
You're closer to him, I think, right?
What's that?
He lives in Long Island now, I think.
I was just going to say, for anybody who's listening to this who may or may not have been involved in Jay Leno tripping and hitting his head, if you happen to be the rock he hit his head on, I don't remember what state I said I live in. Brandon lives in Queens. Go find,
Oh, wait. If you guys are fucking with Jay, just keep doing. I'm not trying to help Jay. But Jay did not fall down.
What kind of boulder? I mean, that had to have been the thing they were pushing in Africa, and he just happened to hit part of his head on that. I mean, look, I've never been hit in the head with a baseball bat, but I have seen somebody back when we were dumbasses playing Little League. The one kid thought it'd be funny to put the ball bucket on his head, and another kid swung the bat and it split his head open. And we were like 10, 11 years old. That kid's head swelled up kind of similarly to how Jay Leno's face looks right now.
Yeah, he did something. He's got a lot of classic cars. Like I feel like, is he in money trouble? Is somebody trying to shake him down? I don't know.
I think he famously has not touched his money from the Tonight Show, but maybe you lose it all in roulette and then you're
look, man. I got $25 riding on Najee Harris tonight in this football game, so somebody might come for me if he doesn't hit his 50 yards rushing tonight. I don't know what Jay Leno's doing.
Can I guess what team he's on?
Yeah, sure.
I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. What division? What is it, like the AFC, NFC?
He's in the AFC.
Yeah, that doesn't clear it up for me at all. No. I want you
to
know
that
I have no
division
idea.
That Ray
so I have zero clarification.
Okay, so he's near. I think it's geographical. So he's near the Ravens. I'll lock in Giants final answer.
No, he's on the Steelers, but that was a good try. That was a good try.
I hope he loses. I would have felt better
when I come into the podcast. I'm podcasting Sunday with Jelinski. When I come in with an eye patch on and I'm black and blue and I have a broken hand, just know I tripped on the huge hills here in Florida. I tripped coming out of the Hampton Inn. We went from elevation of 10 to 0 real quick. It was wild. So
also Hampton Inn. The guy is the host of the Tonight Show. Not to Hampton Inn.
Like
shame.
30 years.
Yeah.
I've stayed at many a Hampton Inn, but I also drove across.
Maybe he thought it was the Hampton
LA budget.
Yeah, he's old enough to where he thought he booked the Hamptons and he ended up at the Hampton Inn near Port Authority. He's like, this isn't it. This isn't where I thought I was going.
Brandon, what do you think about these articles with Jeff talking about 50 with whiteboards and him saying no villains, him saying
positive?
We want people who are positive. Like, what goes through your brain when you hear that kind of stuff?
I was pretty happy. Just saying.
Yeah.
I was having a pretty shit time, and I was living my Make-A-Wish. It's interesting. I mean, I'm interested in the route that they go. I think that the thing that I've thought of is like, there's going to be a person. There's going to be 20 people. There's going to be 18 people. There's going to be 18 or 20. There's going to be one person who's not playing joyful, who goes in and plays dirty. And I'm just really interested in what happens to that person. Like somebody's going to upset the balance. And I wonder if they are like rewarded for that or they are punished for that. Like the culture of the season that's being curated now is we want a joyous, fun time to celebrate the best show on TV, like the thing that's been the best show on TV for 25 years. But there's going to be some, like, it's right now $1 million. It could be 2, it could be 3, you know, like I just saw the fucking Deal or No Deal Island trailer. They're giving away like 12, like, you know, it's not 12, but it's something close to that. Somebody's going to play dirty. One of these joyous people that you've seen in the last 25 years, that you loved, that you want to have dinner with, they're going to do something really dirty and really mean to somebody that you loved and wanted to have dinner with also. And I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I know. I'm hopeful. I'm very curious what the casting is going to look like here. And I know with Brandon sitting here, we don't want to get it too into Survivor 50 casting, but I am.
Who would be your top 3 if you could bring back anyone, Brandon? If I put you on the spot for it.
I'm not going to name new era people because the new era people feel like people that I went to high school with. So it just doesn't.
Don't forget Kelly and Emily were listening.
Yeah, they're 2 of my 3. And again, are these people going? No, but like Ian Rosenberger would be up there for sure. Twyla would be up there for sure.
Great.
Sean Rector is up there. I think Natalie Bolton is up there for me for sure. I'm going sequentially of people that I feel like we missed. Erin Lobdell, if she's interested, come on down. You're the next contestant on my season 50
man. I need her
draft. 2 ends. And then I'm moving through, and I really again, I've thought about it a lot. This is exciting for me as a fan of season 50. Season 50 I view as like the last chance to cash in on people who are not going to do season 55 or season 60. And I don't think we get anybody like Boston Rob or Sari or Sandra who have done this, you know, who have completed. But like, is Malcolm done? Is Tyson done? Is Kelly Wentworth done? Like those people, I think. David Wright, is he done? Like there are people like that I think could be in contention for this as well. Like when you think of people that you loved on Survivor, you think of Malcolm, you know, and Malcolm's not like we all fucking watched it. Malcolm's not done. Like, you know, you call Malcolm tomorrow, he's there. So I think that I am interested to see.
Malcolm's also only 38 years old. So like he played 3 times, but he's still young. I mean, I had Todd on the podcast on Sunday. He's also only 39. He said he was turning 40 soon. Like you're talking, you have some classic players who aren't that old in terms of like Todd Herzog and Malcolm could come out and they're not even over 40 yet. That's pretty wild to think. Are there just one of them's just over 40? It's pretty wild to think about with how long ago they played.
Yeah. Also, I'm seeing in the chat, you know, William Redmond, who I signed his hat and I cried because it was the first time I signed anything. You know, Angelina, T-Bird, Rob, like these are people that I think are Hundo P should be a part of the conversation. And it's going to be super cool. One of my favorite confessionals of all time is Colby in Heroes versus Villains, who says, this is a chance for me to see if I still got it, you know, and I want to see more of that energy from people. Let me see this that will qualify Brandon, Maddie Pamela, Zach Bryce. Yeah. Listen, that's a great tribe. We don't win anything. I don't think we win anything even after I'm voted out immediately, but we would have a fun couple days.
I have to call him out. He's literally born in 1986. He's literally 38 years old.
Yeah, he's my age.
Malcolm is 30 years. I mean, he's got an IMDb page because he did that really good The Bold and the Beautiful. He killed it.
Sure. Yeah, it was very good.
He was very good. What are you saying, Brandon? You saying he's not the best actor you ever saw?
You know, I've seen Moneyball. Everybody in Moneyball is doing a comparable performance that Malcolm did in that episode. Yeah, I think that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what happens. It's going to be, you know, I think about the first time I saw that Heroes versus Villains preview at the end of season 19, and it's going to be like that. They're not going to skimp out on getting the best people possible. And I'm excited to see it.
How about Rob Z from Thailand?
If he doesn't need to. He's probably busy. I think I talked to him. He's got an orthopedist appointment in May of 2025. He can't move that. They're hard to book.
I hate that. Yeah, it sucks.
But I mean, maybe. Like I remember, you know, I don't know if this is. I've never talked to Rob about this, but Rob has a confessional in All Stars where he's like, every survivor could be here. You know, like no, they're not all here. You know, maybe we do that. Let's fucking throw everybody. Let me add them. But I'm excited to see it.
Would you say yes if they asked you or no?
Of course, I'd go tomorrow. I'd go tonight. There was like when I got is a weird thing for people to I think about after having viewed my experience. But when I came back, people had asked like, would I go back? And I was like, no, because it felt perfect. Like I was there. I got to do it. Like it wasn't the journey that I wanted, but it was just like, I can't imagine it would be more fun the next time. But now I would go in 2 seconds. It's my favorite thing in the world. I love this so much. And I think that, again, I'm not high horsing myself and I'm not putting myself on a 50.
You can high horse yourself, Brent. We're your biggest fans.
Listen, I think that like I have a unique Survivor situation where like 15 minutes in, I fucked it and I couldn't get it out of my head that I fucked. And then I am only negatively manifesting the entire time that I'm there. Like, I'm going to fuck this up. I'm going to fuck this up. I'm going to fuck this up. And that's on me, right? That's the thing that happened to me. But I know the things that I watch it and I'm like, I would have been good. Like, I would have really loved to have tried that. So maybe one day in a very specific theme, something happens. Probably not. I don't need it. Like, I mean, I would love to have it, but I can't get my hopes up for something that's not going to potentially happen.
Millennials versus Gen Alpha. You come back as the old millennial.
Yeah.
The 62-year-old from.
You guys want to hear about Harry Potter or something? The fucking evolution of dance. I can do that.
No, the first time Harry Potter came out, not this new stuff you guys like.
Not Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, I mean, I literally, it's like the most fun I've ever had in my life. So I don't think anybody says no. If you get called, you got to go. Like, think of the people.
Hey, if Wendell.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I was just going to say, everybody wants to go. Everybody wants to be out there.
If Wendell and Bryce put that video out that we did in New Orleans, I might have complimented you. Might have.
Oh, what did you say? What was the compliment?
Well, I can't remember now. It's just such a long time ago. But no, I literally said pretty much what you're saying right there. Where it's like I've gotten to know you well enough. I mean, I text you a bunch, and I feel like
I wish you lived nearby me, man.
Yeah, if you had gotten your
nachos or something.
If you like, I watched that season and I said, "Damn, why?" I'm over there with Tommy Smokes. I'm standing behind him with my arms folded. Like, why did they put this guy on the show? What the hell is this? And now that I've gotten to know you and I see like what happened. Also, we are literally watching on this season the version of you that would have happened. Like if you got your foot. I mean,
they clapped for him doing coconuts on day 7.
Everybody would have been clapping for me the whole time. I just want to say that's not my strength is that people are clapping for me all the time.
I was going to say, when Brandon walked in the overalls, everybody cheered, and it wasn't for D, it was for Brandon. So I'm just saying. But I mean, we're watching Andy get his footing in the game and overcome, and he still has his lows. Like he's still going through the lows of, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like people aren't paying attention to me. I'm having one of those days. He couldn't find the tubes. But at the same time, it's like you're on a tribe that doesn't lose 3 in a row. Who knows?
And that's a testament to, I mean, like, fuck me for a second, but Sabaya too. Sabaya does, so much better 99% of the times that you run this. And like, we ended up in this situation where she doesn't. And that's like, Andy himself is a testament, I think, for, and again, I'm not pitching myself, but like, Andy is a testament to why an early boot season is not a bad idea. Like, you don't want to do first outs. I understand why you don't want to do first outs, but you bring it to, not ever touching a merge buff. You get really good people that everybody gets cast because they bring a strength to Survivor. Some of them obviously different. Some of them are missing things that you need to maybe win, but you're casting everybody because they bring something. And then Andy is a testament to like, yeah, Andy was almost the first voted out, and then he's a footnote in Survivor history. We're making memes about him right now if he's not out, but now he's beast moding through the thing. Yeah. He's got a web. He's twirling his hair, I think that, everybody that goes through this casting process is picked. Emily would agree because 1, we're all a little bit unwell, but 2 is we bring something that this social experiment requires. We bring a skill that is needed in a civilization where we're restarting and having to betray people. So I think that maybe, 50 is not early boots, but 50 direct to Paramount Plus. They do the Challenge All-Stars with all the old people, throw us on P Plus,
I would watch a season of all of you guys. Like, just like all the people who are early. I mean, you can't tell me, like, I have Jelinski coming on next week. I'm talking to you here today. And Maddie goes home with what? 1 vote, 2 votes, whatever it was, 1 vote, right? She literally went home 1-0. Am I making this up?
No, yeah, of course. I mean, she again, like she does
Peter Hartley.
So who's that?
Peter
Holy
Hartley.
Peter.
He'll be there. I hope he's in my tribe.
Do you still think John Raymond has a chance?
No,
that's fucked up. I can't believe it.
What the heck?
I keep looking at my phone because I think I'm getting Venmo requests, but it's just like it's Wayfair. It's like nothing good.
There we go. That's better. That's much better. Who's the good looking guy in that photo?
Thank you, Blake.
I want to know.
I was waiting for Blake's reaction. It's Phil and Jeff
Goldblum.
That
up for a second. Look at that.
Oh my goodness!
I did this an hour ago. This is done. As soon as I pulled up my phone without this as my background, I'm like, fuck, I got to go change it to Phil.
Jesus.
And the thing I found is Phil and Jeff Goldblum. I'm probably going to forget to change that. And then when you see me next, Phil, in person, it'll be that. There's a guy that I met at a thing the other day who gave me his business card. And I was like, if you ever see me again and I don't have your business card in my wallet, I will pay you $100. And he's like, deal. So now it can never leave my wallet. If I'm in France on vacation 7 years from now, got to stay in here. Fun fact.
Hey,
You're living dangerously, Brandon.
I got a lot, man. I got a lot going on. I like that. Oh, thank you for pulling up the one of me and Jeff Goldblum. That means a lot more, you know?
Yeah. Where was that? Tell us, what was the event?
It was LA. So Jeff Goldblum, what's the name of that bar, Blake? It's the Jazz Bar in it's on the east side. It's over by your neck of the woods. I forget the name of it, but Jeff Goldblum, he used to do a jazz.
Why did Blake say nothing there? Blake didn't even try to answer the question.
Because Blake finally has to admit that he doesn't actually do anything in LA. He just hangs out.
I just live here and complain, baby. No, there's one that I like, but I don't think it's the right one. So I didn't want to say the wrong one where that couple did it forever.
Yeah. But you Blake,
not
said nothing. You didn't say anything. You know,
I didn't know Rockwell. Yeah.
And he used to have a residency at the Rockwell where he would play like every Wednesday night or Thursday night. And he would just go up on stage and he would sing and do like trivia questions and the band would be behind him. And it was at like a very normal, like we're all sitting at tables right in front of him. It was like a comedy club that's not a comedy club. And my friends and I don't know if we got there early. I don't know what we did, but we were literally in the table right in front. So that was good. And he kept asking questions about movie stuff and I kept getting him right. And he kept saying, that's exactly right. And he wouldn't look at me, but he kept saying that's exactly right. It was nice. It was nice. He thought
it's like what Brandon doesn't know is that every single time after we're done with the digging deeper, Phil sends me an email of every mistake I made. So I just didn't want to add another one there. Because I am going to Portland tomorrow.
I am the what do you call him, stat boy from when they used to do that for Around the Horn, where they'd be like, or whatever it was, PTI. Where'd we mess up? And he would just list out everything they messed up for the entire like last 30 minutes. That's how I am right now.
If you're speaking confidently, you know, I said that nobody knew about Sue's Idol. You know, we all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, anything.
Your mistakes were only on TV for 2 weeks, Brandon.
For 3 hours of television, I was crying or laying on the ground, withering in pain. And that's, you know what? You get to see more of that if you vote me in the fan vote for season.
I'm going to tell you, if you're on there, I'm voting for you. Not because I want you to win, but because I want that. I will have my popcorn so ready, Brandon.
That's like I said this on Tyson podcast. Like I'm not clumsy. Like I don't fall. Like I'm not a clumsy guy. But it's just like the ground there was just like unfamiliar. I was slipping and slide. I'm like walking on a fucking slip and slide that whole time. But
I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be like fan vote. Do you have any notes? Yes, we need that ladder one more time.
I sent an email a couple months ago to the powers that be, and I said, "Can I that ladder is in a storage thing somewhere in Fiji?" I was like, "Can I have that? I'll pay the shipping. Bring it back to me." But TBD. There's a person, Neo Kuro. Can you bring
throw this one up there?
This person's been watching the whole time. They've been watching for an hour and a half.
One of our biggest fans, honestly. Neo Kuro has been following us for a long time. I guess he just hates you.
Yeah. He's been watching for an hour and a half. There's been 7 of these comments. Neo Kuro, listen, slide in my D. I'll watch your audition vid. We'll get on the program together. We'll do the race. There's another. Yes.
Classics Lucas sending a question in the last 3 minutes.
I love that. And Brandon was like, guys, I don't want to go over 35 minutes. So we said, okay, great. We'll try to go an hour and 35 minutes.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
Who is your number one out of all who is left? This is who I would like to align with the most?
If you were playing right now, who is your number one out of everybody who's left and why?
You and this person to the end, because only one person you can take them with fire.
Neo Kuro is my number one, I think, in the game. Neo Kuro. We've had a tumultuous relationship thus far. But I think that they're my number one. No, I think I would have, I know this because I met Teeny. Like I love Teeny. I would have been riding with Teeny for the remainder of this for sure. Yeah, I think Teeny would have been my number one from the moment I met Teeny. I met Teeny before they were on Survivor, and I immediately was like, "Oh, you're the coolest person ever." And then I'm watching the 47 preview, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's Teeny, who I met at my boot episode." So I'm all in on Teeny.
Yeah, Teeny's who I would have ended up saying too.
I
So
think
that's like not a fun question for us because Brandon, we've both met Teeny. So Blake.
I think for me to be 100%, instead of doing the Gabe thing of like planning it out, I think I would do the Sue thing of who is the strongest older woman, because that's kind of like there's some respect, there's some whatever, and then we're both catering to different parts. Like as much as I want to be like, I would immediately be with Sam, the cool guy. You're like, probably not cool enough for Sam. Andy and I would be immediately split up for being the knuckleheads. But if I was on Sue's tribe and was like, instead of Gabe, it'd be like, I can align with Sue and not immediately be targeted whenever I'm falling off of every balance challenge in the first 5 seconds.
You and me both, brother. I said in my whole application that I wanted a mom on my tribe. And then when I saw Julie, I was like, oh my God, I got it. And then Julie wasn't on my tribe. But that's the dream spot is you get. I think I would have worked really well with. I mean, maybe I'll change my answer. I like the Sue answer. I think Sue's great. Sue's East Coast. Sue's New York. We could have vibed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We know similar. We've been to Atlantic City. We know similar people.
Atlantic City, huh? What
I think Sue has the same kind of mindset of like, I would be extremely loyal until I get backstabbed, and then it's either I went home or now I'm an asshole to the people that backstab me until I go home.
Did you see when Sue said about Kyle? Like we keep having to hear about how he's poor. Did you hear that line?
Crazy.
Crazy.
I do miss those moments because I think the Courtney, what she said about Denise is one of the all-timer, like this is a part of the human experience. Courtney is this bitchy to her friends at home. If you put her on an island or a mainland China and don't give her food, she is going to say this type of shit. This is the human experience. That's what I love about Survivor is like, if you stick me around somebody 24/7 and it's Rome and he's annoying me for 15 days, I will. Can we get Rome fucking out of here? Makes sense that Kyle said that.
Matt, that was very funny. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think that's again, I was lucky on my the Lulu tribe. None of us were like annoying. Like we had a good. We were all. I mean, Emily. Like again, I don't think Emily's annoying at all. But like Emily had, I guess, moments. Certainly. But we didn't have a Rome, right? We like the Rome wasn't there, and the Rome personality's got to be tough to deal with. And the Rome personality is always going to go in that spot because if you have the Mergatory, you're going to get other tribes. You're going to get maybe 8, 7, 9 people who have not met Rome, and they're going to meet Rome and be like, oh, God forbid. Like, we got to get this person out of here. Like, this person needs to leave now. So that, like, that character, if they make it past the pre-merge, who's just like very, I don't know what the right word for what Rome was. And I thought Rome was very fun on TV. Like
great TV. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Great TV.
If you're great TV, you will meet other people in the game and they will not want you to be there anymore. If you're great TV during the pre-merge, it's likely that you will be gone at Mergatory.
Yeah.
And right now, Neo Kurao is doing your edits, starting it off with, my tribe had 0 annoying people, and then putting every moment of you from the fucking episode.
And it's got like a G6 in the background. That's the music. Yeah. Neo Kuro, get your fucking Premiere subscription fired up. You got to make some shit tonight. Volatile is the word I was looking for. Thank you very much. Yes,
volatile is a good word. I like that Neo Kuro is now sending in this terrifying crying face. But all right. Let's wrap this up. Let's go home, huh? This was great. Good job, Brandon. Always love having you on here.
Christmas finale episode when we do
on Christmas. Yeah, I'll do that.
Or the Saturday before Christmas. Slight teaser for everybody.
We can't leave yet. RD, what's your address? RD said they're from Queens too. What's your address, RD? Say your address. Is anybody gonna say their address tonight? Neo Kuro, what's your address? I'm asking for a friend. I don't want it. This has been so much fun. I love this podcast. I love hanging out here. It's great. Let's all tease our first numbers of our address.
I'm terrified to put mine in.
No, I'll listen. Come find me, Neo Kuro. 32. Go to Queens. Oh, you're in Flushing. Oh, you're so close. Oh, that's super fun.
Oh my God.
Mio Crow's in Fiji. That's Jeff. That's Jeff's all. Jeff, I thought we were fucking friends, brother. You said you were so glad I got to play when I got.
This is actually somebody out there right now who's going on a 48, and they're just or 49, whatever season's supposed to film next. They're sitting there in Fiji, just being like, "I fucking hate Brandon Donlon."
Fuck this guy. I'm gonna watch an hour and a half.
He cut his fucking hair.
He did.
It looks great. What great job.
Listen. It's you know what? The long hair I liked for Survivor, but this is much more, I think, my scene. When I was packing moving boxes, and it's like it's so infuriating to pack with long hair and you're bent over, like my AirPod just fell out, and you're having to, I'm not putting my hair up. But yeah. Fun fact.
Were you trying to look like Troyzan? Did you think that you were going to be Troyzan out there, or how'd that go?
Yeah. I was. He's my favorite player of all time. I saw that one picture of him that was floating around in 2017, which I won't elaborate on. And I was like, that's fucking great. That's awesome. Blake
Troyzan 2017. Okay.
Blake couldn't Google that fast enough.
He's really excited. Blake
didn't even go to incognito mode. He just did it. All right.
No,
nobody looked at my computer besides me, bro. What do I got to be incognito for?
That's not true.
The green monster.
Yeah, the green monster. He's back, baby.
Anyway,
I'm going to be back on Sunday with Jelinski, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Tune into that one. That'll be a good time. And Jelinski, I'm just getting the people who are going to be on this pre-merge boot season that season 50 is going to be. That's what's going to happen. Jelinski and Brandon are going to be the team captains. It's going to be great.
I'm doing like a G6 all night tonight. This is great.
Feeling so fly like a G6.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, on that note, everybody become a patron. Patreon.com/thespecialist. Patreon has actually inputted we can actually do discounts now for first month. So we're doing a big discount through the finale episode. So if you want to go check that out, we're doing discounts for people who are currently free patrons who want to move up and try something out, and for the people who haven't even gone over there before, go ahead in and we're doing a huge discount through December 18th. So go check that out, only for the first month, but hey, it'll get you in the door. You can hear Blake actually give his real feelings about stuff. Probably on the next episode, he's going to actually have the Troyzan picture up there the entire time. So this is going to be great. Neo Kuro, thank you. Let's go. Great show as always, guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a good sport. And everybody else, thank you all so much for listening. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Go look at the cover of The Boy with the Arab Strap so you know that I'm not psychotic for thinking the vinyl behind Brandon was Bell and Sebastian. And otherwise, yeah, that's it. That's all we got. Oh, man, we got a Swiffer. We got everything. We're ready to roll. See you guys later.
I was afraid to pan too much that way.
Yeah.